And as ministry partner teams, another very important thing is that we want children to stay safe. We recognize that there is no way for children to come and to be raised up as the next generation of leaders in the church if they're in an environment where they don't feel or they truly are not safe. And so if you would turn in your books to, we're going to look at page 7 for our child protection statement. This is such an important aspect of what we do together as a ministry partner team. We care for the safety of children. In fact, we're going to read this statement together word for word. It's the lighter gray box there in the middle. We're going to start with children are vulnerable. Let's read that together, okay? Children are vulnerable, and as ministry partners, we have the responsibility to do all that we can to promote the safety of the children in our care. Physical abuse, sexual exploitation, verbal abuse, and neglect of children is strictly prohibited by Samaritan's Purse. As ministry partners, we have a duty to help prevent abuse by creating safe environments for children. If there is ever any abuse suspected or discovered at an OCC outreach event or the Greatest Journey class, as ministry partners, we will appropriately respond to the abuse, report the abuse to the appropriate authorities, report immediately to SPOCC Regional Leadership Team, National Leadership Team, and Regional Director, and report confidentiality in one of the following ways. Then there's a website, email, and phone number there that you guys can, this is in your book. Guys, we take this so seriously because if we're trying to make disciples of children, we're trying to help them grow in their faith, but something is happening that is hindering them. The Lord has very strong admonition against that in his word. And we need to make sure that we are being faithful. So let's talk a little bit just for a moment about how we do this practically. Because we think it's important for children to feel safe. We want to create a safe environment for children. So children should never be left unattended or just with one adult or a teenager in the room. You should never have one child and one adult in the room. Always have a second adult or a responsible teenager in the classroom or at the outreach event to help monitor the children. And that's just good practice anyways, because that way you have, should something happen, you have multiple adults in the room. Make sure that you are arriving early so that children aren't left alone in the classroom and that they're not arriving before you, so that there's a grown-up who is a person who can let them in the building, who can welcome them in and keep an eye on them. Ensure that children have privacy and safe access to a bathroom. Encourage them to go to the bathroom in pairs, especially if it is any distance away from your classroom, so that they can have someone that they're going with together, a friend or a small group. And encourage them to walk to or from the outreach events, again, in groups. And from the Greatest Journey classes in groups. And do not allow intimidation in your classroom. If you see some intimidation happening, if one or more children are verbally or physically attacking another child, it is your responsibility, and it is our, it's our privilege to intervene, because that's one of the ways that we respond and act as Jesus would towards these children. All right, so hopefully now you begin to understand a little bit about who we are as Operation Christmas Child, what your particular role is on your ministry partner team, and the attitude and actions that we have as we look at working with children on a daily basis or a weekly basis in our outreach events and in our TGJ classrooms. Take a pause there. And scene.